Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
All right, in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 stories of 3 clients of mine. Obviously, I'll change, I have to change their identities and to make sure that they are anonymous. But the central theme of these 3 stories is how money changes people suddenly. There is that saying, no? If you really want to know a person's character, give them all the power and the money in the world. You'll come to know who they really are. It's not like, normally people believe that if you go through tough times, it brings out your character. No, you really want to know a person's character, give them unlimited amounts of money and power, and you'll come to see what they really are inside, which they don't show, because people tend to portray a very goody-goody image. Okay. And how this theme or this video topic came to be was, I just got a client who shared with me more or less, his incident in the similar lines. Obviously, I can't share his story because, it's a very fresh case and we are working on it. So it kind of brought back memories, and I told him that I'll be making a video on this, so don't feel that I'm trying to rub it on you. And I let him know that these were the 3 this thing. He said, fine, I understand that you have to, you love making videos and inspiring and educating people, but just keep my identity totally out of it and my details. So it's perfectly fine. Anyway, I will share the stories with you. True stories. Put down your comments below and let me know, have you been through anything like this, or what would be your advice for these people? Okay. In case you're new to my channel, my name is Loy Machedo. I'm a personal branding strategist. I help people get well-paying jobs in Dubai, UAE, Saudi, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, Middle East. And then people also book my advice for personal or professional challenges or problems that they face. Because, nearly 7,000 videos plus. So, I have a very unique way of approaching things. And I think what sets me apart is I make it very practical. I don't give you sugar-coated content. I'm not this goody-goody, this thing. I keep it hardcore and real. And I think people are fed up of all the cliche, bookish knowledge or solutions that people give because they want to maintain a nice image or facade. Anyway, details are put down below. Any questions, let me know. So these 3 stories. Let's call the first guy John. Okay, John was this young chap. Young in the sense that he was 27 plus that time. Okay, 27 plus. And he got married to this girl. And lo and behold, what he didn't know was that this girl, even in fact, it was a surprise to the girl that the parents of the girl had planned out that after she would get married to a nice boy and all that, they would help her settle down. So they were planning to go to the West. The father, who runs a successful business and is old, he was nearly in retirement age, 60, and the mother, who also, works at the same company, they surprised them by giving them a house in, when they went abroad. And they also gave them a big chunk of money. And they also said, because we want you to settle down fast and all that, this one house that we're giving you as a gift is where you'll be staying. You choose and buy another house, which you can give it on rent. And you can live off, the extra income there as you're trying to settle down. So, one house is a gift, one house for renting, and a large chunk of money in the bank as this is yours. So normally they give it after they die, but they decided to give it beforehand. And lo and behold, this young man and this girl, they never experienced. Just imagine, for example, to give you a small idea, just imagine you have $1,000 in the bank account, or $2,000, or $5,000 maximum in the bank account as savings, and all of a sudden you have $500,000 US dollars in the bank account. Just visualize that. Okay, you had $1,000, now you have $500,000. Sounds good, right? So in a period of like these couple of like 2-3 years after they got married, the father, the mother, they went there, helped them set up the house and purchased a house. The father was involved because he has business experience. So they purchased a nice, not luxurious villa, a nice villa like house, and a nice apartment where he could put it for rent. And the father set up everything for the son-in-law and the daughter to ensure they would be happy. And they came back to their hometown. Okay. So how do I know all this? Is because he was my client. Was, and I'll tell you why was. So he used to always take my advice, and I was always guiding him. Although the wifey, she didn't like my tattoos, and she's religious, Catholic. So I was an atheist, so she was not comfortable with that. But she listened to the husband. And you could say that they were living a romantic life. They were living that life of, you have your dreams. Like they had a themed wedding, themed wedding, where you have a theme. They had a themed wedding where everyone had to dress up in a particular outfit and everyone had to, play a role and all that. And then the after party and all that, very nice hotel. So because the father and mother, only daughter. Okay, so everything was great. And this guy went abroad, and now he's settled down there. Indian passport holder, just in case you don't know. And finally, he eventually got the citizenship. But that is where I noticed there were some changes in his personality. Like before, he used to always talk about working hard. He wanted to improve on his personal brand. He wanted to, you hear these inspirational stories of hope that you want to set up something from scratch. But now, after all the money and everything was transferred over the period of 3, 4, 5 years, he started telling me, instead of having something that is grounded, he started giving me all this bullshit about traveling the world with his wife and seeing the wonders of the world, going to exotic locations, living life, trying new careers. And so I was like, wait, listen. Before you wanted a career path, like let's give him, say for example, chef. You wanted to be a chef. You completed your college in terms of learning how to cook and hospitality industry. Then you went and got your diploma in that chef, cooking, whatever. Then you learn new courses in cooking, chef. Your career has been cooking and this thing. And when you decided to go abroad, you decided I would stick to chef. And your goal was to start a restaurant and be a chef and run a small one. Now, after all this money has come into your bank account, you're not talking about being a chef. You're talking about being a digital nomad, traveling around the world, being a vlogger, being investing in different small businesses, other countries. He even shocked me by telling me he wants to try farming and organic stuff, and then obviously abroad there is weed, weed. And I didn't know this, but he was slowly getting into it. And one fine day, he told me that he is into weed. Both him and his wife, both of them, not just one. And I was like, man, listen, be careful, don't want to get into this because it'll destroy life. He started laughing at me and saying, Loy, I knew that you're old school and all that. Kind of the condescending tone. I was like, what do you mean old school and this and that? It's not good. It's harmful. It's dangerous. Loy, I've been doing it since the time I came here. I said, you didn't tell me about it. Like, the client, the coach and mentor-mentee relationship, you tell everything. He didn't tell me about this. And that itself was a red flag, because then I realized if he didn't tell me about this, there are many things he didn't tell me about. And then once he told me that him and his wife both were into weed and all that, soon I realized, which he told me, bro, in bits and pieces, him and his wife have been going to these parties and rave parties and smoking weed and relaxing, and they have this new bunch of friends. For a guy who never had friends, all of a sudden he has all these foreigner friends, dreadlocks and smoking, and I was like, man, what the hell are you doing with your career? Like, to which he told me that he already booked tickets to travel around, and by the time he already got his citizenship, and he had made a plan to travel around the world. Okay, I said, boss, if you're going to travel around the world, when you coming back? Like, is it going to be like 1 week, 2 week? No, we are just going to keep traveling. I said, what about the money? Loy, there is enough and more money in the bank. What about day to day? Loy, we already have both the houses are going to be given on rent, and that money is enough for us on rent. I said, boss, you're just in your 30s. Like, don't you want to work? Say, Loy, listen. I know you are, again, he went, you're old school, you believe in working. But if you had my kind of money, listen to that. If you had my kind of money, you wouldn't want to do what you're doing. I just told him, leave that. Okay, if my kind of money, your kind of money, whatever, you have appointed me as your coach, as your mentor. My job is to guide you, not give you sweet talk. Okay, and cut out this superiority attitude that is growing, where you are now trying to give me advice after you have started smoking weed. And we had I don't like when people forget their place just because they got a little bit of money. And he's like, Loy, listen, I don't think our relationship is proving productive and useful to me. He's saying, if you can support me on my ventures, fine, others will have to call it a day. I said, I'm not going to kiss your ass just because you got some money. Okay. Weed is not good for you. Your friend circle is not good for you. Smoking, drinking, not good for you. Traveling around the world it's a luxury. It's a privilege. But if you're going to do that, keep traveling from country to country to country to country, you're going to keep spending money. And then you'll not have a career when you come back. And both you and your wife are not working. And you're living based on the revenue for these houses, which don't know if it's going to last forever. And the money in the bank is not going to last forever. No, Loy, we are very smart. We are not that dumb. And I just realized that he was not ready to listen. So overall, he decided he would go for his trip. And I told him all the best, but we'll have to also end this coaching relationship, which has been for so long, so many years. I said, I don't think you're coachable because things have gone to your head and you kind of feel that you're invincible. So he said, no, Loy, the problem is with you. And he was like, you're old school, you are stubborn, you are following outdated principles. This is the new modern, blah, blah, blah. He started lecture. I said, listen, I don't need to take your shit. We have had a 6-year relationship, 6-7 years. Let's call it a day. I wish you all the best. Take care. And I told him, please don't, I would appreciate if you go your way. I don't want anything got to do with you. I told him point blank, because I when I realized that someone is going the wrong direction and has changed their attitude, is no longer having the student mentality, but changed because of the money that they made, I don't need it. So he said, bye-bye. For me, I don't keep in touch. He did, he was kind enough to send me a tip, so to speak. decent amount of money. He said, "This is for all the good times that we have had. Just a thank you." I know he had a lot of money, so obviously, okay, fine, whatever. Money is money. And he went. The last I heard of him was he traveled to the seventh or eighth country, and him and his wife, he are still. They are not online. They don't like to be on social media, whatever. But the father and mother, who kind of knew me because I used to mentor this both of them, especially the guy. He told me that they are worried now, and I said, "Why are you worried?" He's saying they just send us, before they used to send us messages every week. Now they're sending us messages once in 2 months, 3 months, and they're just like, "Hey, come down, have a good time." And the father's, he runs a business now. He's 60 plus, and he knows that life is not just about you know going to country enjoying. He's saying, and his father then told me, the father, "I made a big mistake by giving all that money. I shouldn't have done that." I said, "Yes, you're right. You shouldn't have given the money, but now it's too late." He's saying, "I'm just hoping they don't destroy their lives by getting into the wrong company, because they are still into weed and all that stuff, but you just don't know." Anyway, I don't know much about their finances, whether it's going up or down, whatever. But I can tell you one thing, that lifestyle that they're talking about, just traveling, not working, living on the money of the bank, that's not how a career should be. Okay, so that was example number one, the sad case of, let's call him John. Okay, the second one, this one is, let's put it this way, she and I were dating once upon a time. Okay, short date. We were not like dating for long term or anything, just met, got friendly, sex, this, that, whatever. But eventually we parted ways because she found herself having a steady boyfriend. Okay. However, she did take my services here and there whenever she did need them. And as I got better, she got into a little bit of coaching, and I kept it strictly professional. I never involved, because we were having a relationship before. In her case, she hit the jackpot. Okay, Indian female who was based in Dubai. She got herself a very well to do, rich guy, courtesy her parents. I don't know how the hell did it happen and all that. She didn't fill me in these details. And obviously, if she doesn't want to tell me, I'm not going to ask. But it was family, the father and mother found a very nice boy. Okay. Very nice boy in the sense, decent guy, good looking, smart, everything perfect, and great career. And the biggest thing of all was he came from a very wealthy family. And he had a good career. He is very rich. So if this girl, her status was here, this guy's status was up here, she all of a sudden got catapulted to the high class. So from where, like, she would go to, let's say, for example, she would go to fast food joints like Pizza Hut or KFC and McDonald's, and that was the hangout joint for her pre-marriage. Post-marriage, after him, she was only going for five-star hotels, golf, where they play golf. Um, they would go to these uh, like events or parties where they're gambling with big money. She went to Las Vegas. She went to. I used to see these updates on her Facebook. Okay, and she was very active on Facebook. And once in a while, when I would check her Facebook, she was like, "Oh, bloody hell, man!" She was really living the life. Okay. Um, I guess maybe because after a marriage, she didn't want to continue the coaching or be associated with whomsoever of the past. So she didn't continue the coaching, even though we were supposed to work. I said it's perfectly fine. Life presents itself with a lot of challenges, and you have to move ahead with that, opportunities, threats, whatever. But now I started noticing a pattern. And once in a while, I have to always check her updates, because it used to literally appear on my feed. If you keep posting stuff on Instagram, on Facebook, it will appear on the feed. So she was going to all these expensive, super mega expensive hotels, like this limitless pool on top of the skyscraper. Then I think what is Singapore, those three hotels thing at the top, and I told you Las Vegas and all that, and New York, Manhattan, and okay, fine. One fine day, I noticed that this female was not looking the same as before. Like her skin had become whiter, her hair looked different, and I was like, is this the same person? Like they were similar. And I realized that she underwent surgery. She had undergone surgery for her face and all, and she did look nice. I'll tell you that much. It looked very nice. Okay. But you can make out a little bit of plastic. Okay, fine. This was done. And next thing I know, for a girl who was Indian, typical Indian, simple girl, not simple in the sense like, a typical Indian girl, attractive, she's good enough. She even got her boobs done, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, when you see, and how did I notice that was she wore a dress which was like, I'm sure she got her boobs done, her ass done. Now you'll say, like, what does it matter to you? Why don't you mind your own business? Say, listen, if you're putting it on Facebook and it appears everywhere, you want it to be everyone's business. Okay. Uh, I just felt it was not moving in the right direction, because what I felt, she never told me this. Okay. What I felt is she was trying to match up to the people who the husband was meeting. The husband was maybe meeting, uh, you know, guys or couples where the females look sexy. So she wanted to be like, oh, I want him to be proud or whatever. She wanted him to feel the same. So she's, instead of focusing on her dreams, her goals of whether studying, whether working, whether her career, she started focusing on keeping husband happy. But instead of keeping husband happy through service, it became all about surgery. Same thing which my wife had told me when she got married to me. Just immediately, you want, I'll get my nose done, I'll get my face done, I'll get my boobs done. I said, for what? She said, no. So when you show your friends that you can show that I'm sexy. I said, no, you're not an object. I'm not getting married to you to parade you and show you off in front of the whole world. That's not the purpose of getting married or having a wife. It's a very private matter. But in her case, maybe because the husband is a businessman, she went into all this. Okay, fine. Now this was okay, but where it started to come back to us is once she started to look, her eyes were with lenses, and she started to put jewelry, she started buying expensive cars. Seriously, she expensive car. Like, the Fast and Furious kind of like all these jazzy, this thing, and I don't know, Lamborghini or whatever it was. And then she, going to these VVIP hotels, and very soon, I think the red flag where it appeared is now the husband is going separate and she is going separate for her holidays. And once again, she didn't tell me anything. And where I realized the relationship is slightly going to get into trouble is when you start having photographs without your husband. She started going for all these hotels with swimming pool with her friends. When you start spending more time with your friends and less time with your husband or your spouse, means there are cracks that are developing. And finally, true to my prediction, uh, for a person who literally, loves the attention on social media, she started posting cryptic messages about uh, don't love someone so much that you forget yourself, or then quotations and all that. She wouldn't put anything clearly. her face is still attractive, body is still attractive. She still goes out for all these expensive outings, but I don't think she is very happy. And well, when you have such friends, obviously you start smoking and drinking, right? And it's literally, before she never had that. It's so shocking, the transformation. Just like me, when I didn't have tattoos like 10, 12 years ago, what I'm today. From what she was, this simple looking, nice girl, bubbly and happy, and now she looks like a mannequin, but that spontaneity, that, where you really feel your natural is no longer there. And I don't think she's happy. I really don't think she's happy. And especially when every photograph is and holding a glass and drunk, and I don't know, man. So, this is another case where when money just comes in, you just don't know how to control. And they still don't have a child, by the way, which is a very big red flag, because when you have a child, your priorities change, you become close. But in her case, I don't know why they don't have a child. Anyway, so I don't know much about her because she doesn't open up to me, but I've just shared with you the second case. Last, if not the least, this one was very intimate and close. Okay. This was my client who was in Dubai. He was such a nice guy. Was. And I'll tell you why. Very nice guy, very humble, chubby guy, really chubby, fat, low self-esteem. And he literally worshipped me. He like, if I would tell him, go to this gym, he would join the gym immediately. If I tell him, uh, don't eat carbs, let's say don't eat rice, he would just stop. He was so obedient. He was so student like, mentality. And I genuinely cared about him. I genuinely wanted him to succeed. Very nice guy. Very, very nice guy. Okay. Everything was great. We were working on him losing weight, wanting to get married, step by step, and have a nice career, complete personal brand. And it was tough. It was not easy. He was losing, let's say, half a kilo a month, which I told him that is the way to go. You don't lose like 10 kilos in 1 month, half a kilo a month, and keep it consistent. We were working towards all these goals, career and public speaking and networking and talking to girls and believing in yourself. He had very low self-esteem. He was very nervous with girls and career path. And one fine day, this guy informed me that he won a big sum of money. One of those lottery tickets, Okay. I don't want to give too much details there, but he got a good sum of money, a really good sum. And he was so happy. Oh, goodness. He came. I still remember this when he won. He called me. I can't believe it. And he was on the phone. I was like, whoa, 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 relax. Like, what happened? Like, what? You won a lottery? Yes, exactly. I won a lottery. I say, how do you know? I was like, no, I just said it as a statement. Like, you actually won a lottery? Yes. And he was so happy and all that. And he said, I want to come and meet you when you're free. Okay, fine. We met and we had a small meal below my place where we used to normally eat. Okay. And he was so excited. And, when a person wins a lottery, the first thing they say is, I will give to the poor. I'll give to my mother. I said, listen, stop. Don't make any of these plans. Don't give to the poor. Don't give anyone. Don't do anything. Just keep it in the bank. Act like you never won anything. Go on with your life. Let's discuss what to do next. Act like you never won anything. Just be normal. Uh, it's easier said than done. I'll tell you that much. For a guy who literally was ready to listen to me on every single issue till that date, somehow the advice of keep it in the bank, don't touch it, and just be normal was the hardest thing for him to do. And the reason for this is one of the big reasons. After he won the lottery, his parents went and opened their mouth and told everyone in his village and this thing. He started getting calls left, right, and center from friends, relatives, cousins, everybody on the planet. For a guy who nobody paid attention, who nobody cared a damn, who he was literally hissing, he had to literally buy 2 or 3 phones because that many calls and messages. And lo and behold, he started to get marriage proposals left, right, and center. I told him, this is not love for your character. This is just, they just want to take advantage of you. But initially, they say, yes, no, of course, I know I'm not dumb and all that. But next thing I know, obviously the coaching started to get distance, which naturally would happen. That was the writing on the wall, which I told him, which he said no, but eventually it happened. He stopped coming for the coaching thing because now you have money, no? Next thing I know, he has already made marriage plans, which was fine. That was not the most dangerous thing. He also started to give money to relatives, which I told him no. But then again, it's not my money. Seriously, he actually gave money to his relatives. Oh, this one has cancer, this one for his education. My mother and father, their dream was to have this small car or house. I was like, he was paying, he even paid like one of their loans and all that. And one of the main reasons why he stopped my coaching is because I told him, man, don't do it. But then the problem is, I'm not one of those coaches who tells you what you like to hear. I will tell you what is right. And I told him, don't bloody, even your mother and father, don't pay off their fucking loans, man. Just act like you don't have the money. Just live within your means, no? The problem is when you get so much money, there's that itch you have to spend. Okay, he purchased a nice fast car and that was fine. He purchased a nice house, okay, which I told him not to, especially in UAE. But where he started to go out of control is giving this free money to all these relatives. The second part was that marriage, where before the money came in, he never got a single, forget, he could literally beg and he would not get even the family offering their maid to get married to him, housemaid. Now they are offering their daughter. And he said yes, obviously, because she was beautiful, sexy, and slim and all that. And like a idiot, again, gift to the wives, has to keep happy. All this was fine. All this. Now you might think, this is all fine. Yes, I'll tell you where he made the mistake. Next thing you know, he invested in multiple businesses with his family members, with his relatives, with his friends. If he had invested in one business, little money, I would have said, okay, fine. He invested in multiple businesses. I obviously don't want to state what they are, but let me put it to you this way. He invested in businesses he had no fucking idea what he was doing. I'll just vaguely give you stuff. Real estate, landscaping, construction, crypto, cryptocurrency, online e-commerce business. What else? Beauty parlor, something for the wife to keep busy. And he was just, I'll be partner here, I'll be investor here. And, I just knew it was going to be a matter of time. For a guy who was simple, a chubby guy who just wanted, can you believe he even started taking photographs with his newly wedded wife on yachts? Why? For what yachts? Why do you need a bloody boat, man? I don't know whether he purchased the boat or whether it was a rental but it was on his social media. Now, here's the funny thing about him. He vanished. I'm not joking. He was on my social media, and obviously, we stopped keeping in touch. And after that, life just took its turn, and then I moved to Thailand. I was very curious, just one fine day, just checking, and when I checked online, he was nowhere. I He just vanished. He was not on LinkedIn. He was not on Facebook. He's not on Instagram. I don't know what happened. I just know him. I don't know his wife, and I even forgot his name. Can you believe that? I even forgot his full name, proper name, because of Facebook. You need the full name, no? So I had to check through emails and emails and emails, and finally I found one. I was like, "Oh, bloody hell!" And he had vanished. I don't know whether he happily ever after. I don't know whether he lost all his money. I just don't know. But I can tell you one thing. I can tell you one thing for a fact. The way he changed after he got the money, he acted like there was no. See, he didn't do drugs, he didn't do alcohol, he didn't do cigarettes, he didn't do weed. But at the same time, he didn't know how to bloody, control his finances. I think maybe because he was fat and maybe because low self-esteem and because nobody cared or loved him, and all of a sudden when people started giving that love, affection and all that, he melted. He was like a child at heart. His mom and dad, okay, fine, you wanted to help them, fine, but then your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, and the worst part was his businesses. Never ever ever put your money into one is partnership. That is a bad idea. Second one, never put money into a business you have no idea about, like landscaping, this, that. He never had this thing. Even I think he opened up grocery shop, a cafeteria, a coffee shop. Like, what are you doing? So the only advice I had given him is leave the money in the bloody bank and act like you never won it. He went and told his parents. His parents, big potty mouth, went and told the whole bloody world and vanished. I don't know whether he has lost all his money. I don't know whether he's dead, because remember, he was fat. With stress, I just don't know. So I did ask a couple of my common friends, but there's like, no, man, he didn't leave any message. So anyway, I just shared with you these 3 stories of 3 different individuals and what they did in their life. I don't know which one resonates with you, but the bottom line, what I want to leave you with is, see, end of the day, now money changes people. Money changes people. Just be sure that you have, even if you win money fast or easy, or your spouse, that one day it might all vanish, it might all go away. So don't take life for granted. Please don't take life for granted. Life is very unpredictable. You don't know when you'll fall sick. You don't know when you'll have some problem. You don't know when life throws a curved ball at you. And biggest one, you don't know when all that money can vanish, because money will not stay forever. So these are 3 stories which sadly I don't think have a happy ending. But one thing is for a fact: when people earn a lot of money fast, sometimes they don't know how to handle it and they all change. And when you can't handle yourself, bye bye. Good, bad, ugly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear what you have to say. It's me signing off. You guys take care.